it's Dina. Hi, Hope Crew. Hi, YouTube. Hope everyone's doing well today, wherever you are. It's pretty cold here in Germany, getting ready for Christmas. For me, this is a series of Advent videos that I'm doing to forgive myself for things, and maybe you also have the same things that you want to think about forgiving yourself for, and why you're doing them as well. So today is about disassociating, sort of just kind of sitting around and going off into the distance, or knowing that you have something to do and doing something else instead and not thinking about it. And so I want first off to let us forgive ourselves for this, because I don't know if you've looked outside lately or if you've looked around lately, but there's a lot of pretty crazy news lately. There are a lot of things that are happening or worried about happening. Some of us may feel like we're living in the end times. Honestly, sometimes it's kind of hard to relax. If you read news or if you do any of those things that are bringing your attention over and over again to the problems of the world, maybe problems of other people. Maybe you have other things going on in your life where people are needing you to be there and you're having to extend yourself for them. And when my mother was bedridden for multiple sclerosis, sometimes it was all I could do when I was not caring for her, just to kind of go and sit on the computer and do something dumb like play a game or whatever. And I would feel really guilty about that. I would say, oh my gosh, how am I not getting more done? But I was getting things done for two people. Although I wasn't getting as much done as she would have gotten done, I was doing enough to the point where it was literally, she was half of my brain. And so, considering I only had half of my brain left to work with and how small it is in the first place, I think I did pretty well. But this is the first thing to consider, is what are your environmental factors? What is it that is around you? What is going on around you? What are you giving your attention to during the times that you are putting your attention somewhere else? Are you trying to take care of someone else? Are you trying to get a superhuman number of things done? And so on the days that you're not doing them, do you just fall apart? Some people work and work and work until they get sick. Is that you? So if these are environmental factors that you're going to have to stop pushing yourself on your other days and expect, you're going to have to change your expectations towards your own behavior so that you are actually understanding what you're doing when you're disassociating with your time. Yeah. So the biggest thing to do is just to figure out, is it something in the environment that I'm trying to sort of disassociate from? Is it a certain time of the day? Do you find yourself getting tired, zoning out, maybe after lunch, or before you eat, if you haven't eaten and you have a late lunch? There are many times of the day that are naturally low points for the body. And so if you're trying to maybe stay awake too late at night and you're just playing video game after video game you're just awake. And so these kinds of things, if you sort of pay attention to when you're doing something, this will be important. The ability, you need to feel that you have an entitlement to relax. And this goes back to having too much on you in the first place. Make sure that you're giving yourself enough downtime. We need to give our children downtime, but we need to give ourselves downtime. We need to balance, because we do have to understand that all of this craziness that's going on in the world is we're in that, whether we want to pay attention to it or whether we want to disassociate from it. We're in it. So we want to give ourselves plenty of time to say, okay, I need that's really crazy. I need a little time for myself because of this. I need a little downtime. And that's okay, just make sure that you're making enough time to give yourself some extra downtime. Now, if none of those things are the problem, what you want to look for is, what are you doing when you're disassociating? Is it because you're overcome or overwhelmed with information? A lot of times today, if we are doing something at a time, like before we've woken up properly, or we may just be using it as a transitional activity. So there's a little game that I play. It's tremendously addictive. It is based on gambling algorithms, and it's called Home Street. It's a very simple little game, and you make things, and you sort of do black market jobs for people, and then they give you money for them, and then you advance up, and then you can do other kinds of jobs. And there's a lot going on, and everything is timed. And you would think, oh, everything is timed, so I am in control here. I can quit when I want to quit. Well, the thing is, it's based on gambling principles. And so the game itself is so rigged to keep you going and keep you going. Just at the point you'll say, okay, well, I'll clock out of this game as soon as I do this one job. Well, before you clock out, it's sort of like one of those places you go to shop. They say, oh, are you sure you want to leave? If you buy this, we'll give you this. Yeah. And so just as you're leaving the game, they will say, oh, if you do this job very quickly, you will get this reward. And then you say, oh, I'll stay another 5 minutes. Okay. So sometimes it is the activity itself. Back in the old days of the internet, I'm talking about like 96, stuff like this, 95. Actually, I'm talking about 92. Okay. I just realized, I'm like, no, wait, that was 92. That wasn't 95. In the old days, we would fall off into things. We would spiral off. One link would lead to another link, would lead to another link. A lot of us in those days had home pages that would link at the bottom to other people in our circle, and you could go check out other people's pages that were similar to ours or who were our friends. So it was a really interesting, just like today, you can fall into news stories, or if you have one newsletter you say, I'm going to read, but there's 12 news stories in that newsletter. Just be careful when you say, I'm going to do this one thing and then I'll go do something else, because the one thing you're doing might just drag on and drag on and drag on and become a 2-hour one thing. Okay. So what can you do? Journal, write about it. I'll always tell you, if you want to solve a problem, write about it. So if you are worrying about the kind of time that you're spending disassociating or what you're doing, make journals about that. Think about what it is you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, instead of doing what you think you want to do, right? This is all coming back down to kidding yourself also about, what do you want to do, what do you not want to do, how much time are you spending here. So if you can bring yourself to the moment to be the grown-up and write about it and be factual about what's happening for yourself, then I think you'll figure a lot out, and you'll figure out why you're disassociating. But in the meantime, forgive yourself, because there is a reason. Take care. Be sure you don't disassociate so much you don't get your channel on YouTube done. Keep posting. Questions, comments, wild screams of protest in the comments section as normal below. Take care. Peace out. See you tomorrow.